What's good, what's good, what's good? It's TSB the Entertainer, and we back with another video. Today it's gonna be a kind of different video, obviously from the normal videos. You see the reactions and whatnot, basketball videos. We're more on the spiritual side again, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, I've made spiritual type of videos, God type of videos, as you can see in the shorts and, even some long form videos, but, not as much recently, but we back. And one thing that I really wanted to talk about today is, you know, this generation and just this generation's like just perception, this generation's perception of God. I truly believe that this is the generation of false gods. You know what I mean? This is the timeline, whatever you want to say. This is a time of worshiping false gods. There are a lot of people who worship false gods. There are a lot of people who worship false gods unknowingly, right? And so I'm on my journey right now spiritually, and I'm personally trying to find my true definition of God. Like, what is God to me? What is God to you? Like, if you are praying every night, excuse me, and you believe that you have a true connection with the Most High, I believe that it's also important to understand what you are worshiping, what you are calling out to. Like, this shit is not a game, and experiences that I have had have shown me that this spiritual realm, this, you know what I'm saying, your third eye, all of this shit is not no game. God is not a game. This isn't something that you just can just go up on stage or go up after you win a big game and say, "All I thank God and I've been praying for that." Well, what have you been praying to? And you see it a lot. You see that type of stuff a lot with like celebrities. They'll get up on stage and contradict their actions in real life. They'll get up on stage and, "Oh man, I just want to thank God. I want to thank my family, but most importantly, I really want to thank." What God? What God are you worshiping? Because I'll tell you what, above 50% of these celebrities aren't worshiping the God that we worship as civilians. You know what I'm saying? Or as spiritual beings, or as, people outside of the matrix. Like, the people who run this matrix don't worship the same God we do. I promise you that. I ain't gonna go out on a limb and say what God they worship. I don't know. I haven't gone that deep. It's with you. It ain't really my business anyways. That's their business. They understand where they're going. They understand what path they're leading down. They understand who their God is on this earth, which is the devil. And in short form, because obviously they like to come up with different gods and different names for different gods. Let's be real. Their worship is the devil. They worship the devil. Their God is the devil. The government, the people who work in the government, the higher ups, all these people, their God is the devil. The God of this earth, right? God gave devil God gave the devil the rights to this earth, the rights to this planet, to pretty much rule this planet. So we know we know who they worship, but it's fucked up because a lot of people, instead of an actual higher power, a lot of people in this world actually worship them. So not only are a lot of people in this world, in this generation, worshiping false gods, like real false higher powers or higher entities, but some of them aren't even going to a higher entity, and they worship these celebrities. They worship, the government, the news. They worship they worship the rappers, the pop artists, the athletes, who are all indulging in these ungodly activities, right? On a normal basis. I'm not saying we all don't. We're all guilty of sin. We've all sinned. We've all indulged in ungodly activities as a human. You're not perfect as a human. So we've all done it. We've all sinned. But these people do this shit on a normal basis. They don't seek to be forgiven or to forgive themselves. They don't seek to change themselves. They don't seek a life where They are living in a godlike way. They don't seek any of these things. They seek this material world. They seek what's in front of them, what we can see. Now, us spiritual warriors or beings, whatever you want to call it, on the other hand, worship something more than that, because we understand that what we just see with these two eyes is not all that's on this earth. We understand that what we see with these two eyes isn't all that's above this earth. There's something way more powerful than any of us that has been sprinkled inside of us and can lead us to things like this, things like me making this video about this higher power, right? So we understand this shit on a deeper level, but a lot of people don't. And so what they unknowingly even do, unintentionally do, they're not even doing this shit intentionally. They're unintentionally doing this shit, is worship false gods. They end up worshiping Beyonce. They end up worshiping LeBron. They end up worshiping Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce. All these people who are men. These are men. These are man-made beings on this earth. Mind you, everybody's a spiritual being, yes. But this is still humans. These are still humans that these people are worshiping. Human. These are still men and women that these people are worshiping. Cardi B's, I don't even want to go down a lot, because the people who worship these people are the people who are on a path to sin. That all they see is sin, all they know is sin, so they follow sin. They follow Cardi B, who's shaking ass all day. The females in this generation who are really supposed to be here to help reproduce and create life and be a partner to a man, to help a man become his best self, and for her to ultimately become her best self through that connection and through producing a beautiful child. Women are they're decreasing their power in this world. You know what I'm saying? Just because of these false goddesses that they're worshiping. They look at these bitches like goddesses. And excuse my language, but that's how I see these females who shake ass all day and promote that shit. You know, go to the club and shake ass and have niggas throw money at you and do all these ungodly ass activities. And don't get me wrong, I'm a human at the end of the day. I'm a college student at the end of the day. So I'm not going to sit here and act like I haven't partaken in these activities. I'm nobody to judge, right? I'm just putting it out I'm just letting it be known. I'm just making people conscious of this shit. I'm not judging you. I'm not saying that what you doing is right or wrong, because that's based off what you think. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell you what right or wrong is in your reality. You know what I'm saying? It's just not going to get through to you. But in my reality, that shit is dead ass wrong. And I know that I've partaken in wrong activities, ungodly activities. But these people do this shit on a normal basis, and they don't have any conscious about it. They don't have a higher self telling them, what the fuck are we doing? They don't have. And so what this ends up leading them to is worshiping these false gods, worshiping these goddesses, these gods that have no real power in the spiritual realm, have no real power really in this world or over them anyways, but they look at them like they do because of the fame, the wealth, the money, the power that they have in this matrix. That's who people are worshiping nowadays. And not only that, people are starting to put entities outside of this matrix. They're starting to include that. Do your research on Skrilla. Skrilla, the 6'7" nigga. I watch a dude called Nick Jones, and he's got a podcast, and he's reacted to a bunch of the 6'7" shit, or the Skrilla shit. And if you go do your research on Skrilla has openly admitted that he indulges in demonic activities to boost his music. He shows people, you put this mask on, something about how they snatch souls. He said, and the nigga says it in his music. Listen to the music. He mentions, I snatch souls, I worship this God that helps me get whatever I want. I haven't done enough research on it, but I know it's some shit that has to do with voodoo and all that type of shit. A bunch of these rappers are, what's bro name? Oh my goodness, what is his name? The dude who was making he died just recently, bro. But he was doing My Grandma Do Voodoo. Remember that nigga? Bro, why can I think of his name? I know a few of his songs too. I'm just drawing a blank right now. It was just probably good. I don't need to know who that. I don't need that nigga in my mind anyways. But My Grandma Do Voodoo. I know y'all know that song. Bro, these are real life. Bro, this is real, bro. This is real. These niggas aren't playing about this shit. These niggas actually partake in these false, ungodly ass activities where they're worshiping false gods to get whatever they want in this material world. And what I'm on here to preach is find your God. I'm not going to put a label on a certain God that is the right God, because I can't do that for you. You live your own reality. That's where I disagree with a lot of religions. I disagree with a lot of, Christianity, Christianity beliefs, whatever, because I can't tell you my God is right, because people don't understand. Christians only focus on the spiritual aspect of it. So they're so filled with the Holy Spirit, which is perfectly fine, that they almost get too ignorant of it. And they think that's the only God people need to worship. While they might be right in their own realities, you have to understand people are raised different. People are born into religions just like people are born into political parties. People are born into this shit. So you can't just tell somebody, no, what you are worshiping is wrong. You need to show them. You need to lead by example. But telling them ain't gonna do shit, bro. Telling them that yo God is wrong and my God is the way does not help nobody. It don't help nobody. All it does is cause arguments and debates. That's all that shit does. But what I will say is that you need to find your God and your higher power right now, like soon, because the way this generation is going, bro, the deception, the deceitfulness in this generation is at an all-time high, and it's nothing but the devil. Nothing but the devil. The devil is deceiving people out here. The devil is busy out here deceiving people. I'm telling you. So my real main point of this video, bro, is find your higher power. And I'm not going to say which higher power that is, because I'm still on my journey of finding my higher power. Which higher power I believe is the true God. I'm getting a lot closer, but I'm not going to speak on that because I just don't feel it. I just don't feel like I'm in a place right now where I've gained enough knowledge, and I've done the internal work. I'll say that. What I have done is I've gone inward first instead of outward, looking for an outside God. Just based off my experiences and what I've learned over the past few years. What I've done is I've gone inward first to find the God that God put in us. I've gone inward to find the kingdom that God has put in us. You know what I'm saying? And I'm referencing a few things from a certain, God or a certain religion maybe that y'all kind of peeping. So that's kind of where I'm leaning towards, but I don't want to get too deep into that yet, because I don't know. I need to do my own research. That's I can admit that I'm 20 years old. I'm still on my journey, so I'm not going to get on here and act like I know the right God to worship, or I know scripture, or I know I haven't done the research I need to do. Look, man, I'm busy. I got college to deal with. I got shit on my plate. So don't get me wrong. I've seeked the connection. I'll tell you that. I might not have seek the books or seeked anything scripture wise yet, but I've seeked the connection, and I have a real life connection with God. I just need to do more research on what God I have this connection with, because it's helped me a lot. So I really want to know. You know what I'm saying? I need to know. But that's what I just encourage a lot of people in this generation to do, is to find your God, and in that process, don't become ignorant in what God you find, because like I said, a lot of people, they have different experiences in this world. People are born into these things. So, a lot of the times maybe the religion that you were born into isn't the religion that you end up worshiping when you're older. You know what I mean? That ain't the belief system that you carry when you get older, because you start to wake up to things, you start to recognize things, you start to see through shit. Your discernment becomes You know what I'm saying? It just raises as you get older. So, that's where I'm at. I'm just here to encourage people to find themselves spiritually. Like, find yourself first. I believe in finding, one thing I truly 100% agree in is finding yourself before you try to find anything else outside of you. But I also agree, and I also agree in finding a connection with the Most High. And I've done better with finding that connection. I've done better at, just having that conversation on a daily basis. God, please help me. Jesus, please help me in this situation. You know what I'm saying? You can do this on your own. Don't wait for nobody to come save you, though, because ain't nobody just going to come save you. You need to save yourself. You need to do the work yourself, but it ain't nothing wrong with asking for some help, because as you're doing this yourself, God is going to reward you. Jesus is going to reward you. You will be rewarded. So put the work in yourself, bro, because God just can't just do it for you. You know what I'm saying? He can't change your habits and make you live in a God-like way. He can guide you, but it's ultimately up to you. So ask for the guidance, ask for the help. You don't have to do this shit alone. I don't want to make it seem like you got to do this shit alone by saying that you got to go within first. I do believe you have to go within first. I do believe in finding the kingdom within you first, but don't do it. Don't try to do it by yourself. It's too much. It's too many spiritual. It's too many spiritual. How do I explain it? Enemies or spiritual forces. I think that's a better word to use. There's too many spiritual forces to try to uplift yourself spiritually by yourself. You need something to help you. You do. And I'm not saying look, I'm not saying go outside of yourself to look. I'm not saying go within. I'm saying do what works for you. You know what I'm saying? Do what works for you. Go within. I am saying go within. And I'm saying both. But I'm not saying do one without the other. I'm not saying do one first. I'm saying what I've done, what has worked for me. And I encourage you to do the same, because this world is becoming very devilish. It's becoming very dark out here, with the gods that people worship nowadays. And people don't do no research. People don't even try to seek out the true God. And I just disagree with that. I disagree with that. So yeah, man, bro, work on yourself, bro. Work on yourself, because as you work on yourself, God will find you and you will find God. I promise you. Whether that be the God within you, whether that be, the God above you, both. I encourage you to find both. But yeah, man, let me know if any of y'all kind of been feeling this way. Like, it's just like this generation is just, it's the generation of false gods, bro. And I'm not saying I have the answers. I'm not saying I have the one true God, because I'm still on my journey. But I will find my one true God, and y'all will know when that time has come, and y'all will know when my full belief is in one true God. And right now, I believe in something. I believe in a creator. Let's say that, because I don't want people to get this fucked up like I'm out here just worshiping a bunch of different type of gods. No, I haven't even gone outside. I'll put it like this: I haven't gone outside of Christianity and Gnostic texts. I haven't gone out of those two categories to seek out any gods. I haven't. You know what I'm saying? Because those have always been the ones that have clicked with me and that I've been raised on, which is why you need to have some discernment, because now I'm at the stage where I'm kind of starting to question some shit. But yeah, I'm still leaning more towards, you know what I'm saying, that area. But yeah, man, find y'all one true God, man, and put your faith in that, because you can't put your faith in man, and you can't put your faith in this matrix. I promise you that, bro. So believe in yourself and believe in a higher power, and you'll be all right. But yeah, man, let me know if y'all kind of been feeling like this too. You know, I know y'all see the news every day and everything that just goes on. And, you know, it's a spiritual battle out here, especially my people who are tapped in spiritually. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all, it was the people who can see, people who can see. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So yeah, man, that's pretty much it for this video. Find your God, find your peace, and we gone, we gone, we gone.